Hi. So today I'd like to talk about taking risks and why you should do it, regardless of its size, why you should do it. So let me start off by saying that we all have goals and dreams, right? At least one. You have at least one goal and one dream, one thing that you want to accomplish. Right now, think about it. What is it? I'm going to give you a second. What is it? I'm assuming you have something by now. So, whatever that is, if it's big or small, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you taking that risk and doing it? I want you to think about that for a second, too. Some of you have good reasons, but I'm talking about mainly the ones that have shitty reasons. Like you're just lazy, or you're afraid of failure, or you don't think you have the time, but you do. You just spend a lot of it on social media. Is that one of your reasons? Just be honest with yourself and me. Is that one of your reasons? If it is, scrap it. It's not a reason. Period. Period. Do you have any other reasons that are important? I bet you don't. If you have bad reasons, I bet you don't have many great reasons that are keeping you from this, right? So this might have called you out, right? But you might be wondering why or how, because it's kind of easy once you get down to it that yeah, I don't take a risk because I might be lazy or I might waste my time in certain places, but why? Why do I procrastinate with those things? Because I really want this. I really want this goal, whatever that goal is. You really want it. You really want to take that risk, but yet you still find yourself procrastinating more. To that I say that we are in a world where it's become the norm to just get distracted and not take risks, where it's dumbed down and berated when you have an idea that's really good, a really good idea or a risk that you want to take. It's pushed off to the side and you're told to relax and to spend your time elsewhere and to be a normal person, right? To take no risk. Don't listen to that. No matter how big or small, don't listen to that. Because it doesn't matter and it's not true. Today I want you to also think about what I'm going to say through this video. And I want you to think of a risk you could take today, big or small. I want you to take that risk. It could be asking someone out. It could be learning something new. It could be asking your boss for a raise. I want you to think about it, and if you're comfortable doing it, do it. But it has to be at least one. You can't say I'm too uncomfortable with everything. You have to pick one. I want you to pick one. So let me talk to you about specifically why you should take risks, because there's a couple reasons. The first reason is because it's a good habit to have. Imagine if you were constantly taking risks and you constantly grew better because you would constantly change yourself and you had new things come over and over and over because it's a habit of yours to take a risk whenever something comes up. Imagine how many things you would do, how many things you would learn, how many things you would know, how many things you could make money off of or make a different form of profit off of. Imagine how many things you could take pride in. Think about that for a second. If you have a list of things you want to do and you haven't done them yet, imagine if you did do them. If you did take the risk, even if they failed, I want you to think about the best case where they win and the worst case where they fail. Because it goes like this. At the bottom, you did nothing. At the top, you did something and it worked. And just below the top, you did something and it failed. Just below. Notice that? Just below. But this one's almost better because you can take it way further than the top. And you could use the skills that you learned to go off and do something. Let me tell you about an experience of mine, actually. I started a drop shipping company once. I still have it per se. I don't have it up, but yeah, I started this company, and that was a while ago in my earliest days. You might have started one too in my earliest days of entrepreneurship and all that. It was just like you Everyone knows. It's like drop shipping and affiliate links, like that. You know it. So I started a drop shipping company. Didn't perform well. Still isn't performing well. But instead of moping about it, or instead of doing nothing about it, I'll say actually, instead of not doing a single thing with my idea, I did take the risk, knowing I could fail or I could succeed. And now I failed, but guess what? In the process, I learned a few things, right? You got to learn to make the best of your failures when you take risks. I learned how to build a website using Shopify. I learned how to do it fast. Now I know the ins and outs of Shopify. That's really good. I know how to talk business with people. I know how to get suppliers for drop shipping and for products and all that stuff. I know how to identify products, profitable things. I know how to see that and go what works, what doesn't. I know how to somewhat market on media, not too much. I haven't gotten to paid advertising, but I'm starting with short form, and now I'm learning short form content and what works. That's 4 things just off the top of my head that I've learned from a failure, from a failed experience. But imagine if I didn't take that risk. I wouldn't succeed, nor would I fail. And in both scenarios, I gained a lot of stuff. So, what's your excuse for not taking a risk and possibly failing? Because imagine all the stuff that you learn on the side if you failed, and even if you succeeded. You'd learn all that stuff if you succeeded, but you'd also succeed, which is great, right? It's great. So why don't you take that risk? Why don't you? Why don't you take that risk? Think about that risk. Why can't you take it? If you really, really can't think of another risk. I'm not telling you to be reckless, of course. I'm saying choose something reasonable, take that risk. For example, you want to go learn an instrument? Go buy a very cheap one. Go to like Kijiji, get something used. Or just go to like your local music shop and get a cheap basic one, right? You can afford $50, I'm sure, and if you can't, go mow your neighbor's lawn or something, you know? Go make $50. I'm sure you can. Or ask your mom, $50. I'll pay you back soon, mom. Like, you've got ways to make money. I know you do. So go do that. Go to your music store, get it. Join a club if you want. What, you want to get into a sport? Join the club. Join the football club, the soccer club, the basketball. It doesn't matter. Join that sport, whatever it is. Join it. Take that risk. You could be horrible at basketball, football, or soccer. You could be horrible. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could hate it either. It doesn't matter. Because right now you don't know that. Right now you can't say it. You can't say anything. If you've never had a proper basketball lesson, you can't say anything. So go join basketball if you really want to. Go join basketball. Go learn a little. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. But now you took a risk and you learned. That's not a waste of time. That's something I need to emphasize too. When you take a risk and it fails, it's not a waste of time. Never is. Like I said with my thing, you'd think it's a waste of time at first, which is kind of what I thought. But then I spun it. And I think now, like, I have 4 and probably more things if I thought deeper. 4 and more things that I can use as freelancing and general life skills for the future and just things that I could use, right? And things that I could teach. I could teach you how to do some of this stuff to a degree, but I can teach you better than you can teach yourself because I did it, right? If you didn't do it and I did it, I am more experienced, so I'll teach you better than you. That's just a fact. So, look at that. I failed, and I learned that. It's not a waste of time. It never is. And I will say, too, if you, this is for all ages, but for kids in particular, oh my God, we have nothing to lose. Teens, young men, kids, we have nothing to lose. I'm still living with my mom. If you are, if you're still living with your mom or your dad, you're fine. You're fine. Take a risk. Start a drop shipping company. It's $50 a month, like do some chores around the house. That's kind of, I already saved up money, but if I didn't, I'd just do chores, right? Get my $50. I keep it going. You can do that. So take that risk. Take that risk. What are you going to do? You're going to succeed or you're going to fail. But in both ends, you win. Failure is just, it's just a not so sweet success. That's what you need to realize, is that it's just a more painful success. So stop saying you failed. Say you almost succeeded, but now you can strike it again 10 times better. You almost succeeded, but next time, now you have all these skills, so you're going to hit it harder. You're going to succeed then. That's a better way of looking at it, if you ask me. So take a risk. It'll make you a better person too. Can't emphasize that enough, because like I said, you look at the idol, the person at the top who you want to be, the guy who went to the football club, who bought the guitar, who learned that skill and started that business. That guy is the guy who took risks. And that's the guy of your dreams, right? That's you in your dreams. But why does he have to be in your dreams? Why? Do you have a good reason for that? You don't. You don't really, do you? So go take that risk. And for all of you who are wasting time too, if you don't have enough time in the day and all you do is scroll on media when you get a free chance for like an hour, or you watch TV, or you play games at every single chance that you get, then yeah, you're wasting your time. You're not busy, you're wasting it. So stop wasting your time. It's not hard. Well, it's hard, but it's not hard for me to tell you, right? And for you to put together. You'll look at yourself and you'll see I am wasting my time. You'll have to work hard to fix it, but it won't be hard for you to put together. So put that together. How many things don't benefit you that you are doing? And you're wasting your time. You're not taking risks. Remove them. Fill them with things that are risky, that make you think, that make you challenge yourself, that make you kind of fear, but kind of you're kind of fearful, but you're kind of excited. Do things like that. Stop wasting your time. And continue the habit at every single turn you get. I want to say one last thing, which is that basically, when it comes to risks and purpose, they're very closely intertwined, and you have multiple different purposes over time. I'm going to explain that soon, but you have multiple different purposes, from little things to big things. Current purposes, lifelong purposes, they're different things. A current purpose could be learning a skill. A lifelong purpose could be mastering a job of yours, or like finishing university, because that's going to continue through your life. That's a lifelong thing. But learning a quick little skill like I don't know, a side thing, you just want to play guitar for fun, not professionally, but for fun. And that's like a for now goal, because later on it might be changed out with something else, which usually it is. If you don't act on your goals as quick as you see them, and you don't take risks as soon as you see them, they go away and they get replaced. They can come back. There will be a time where you get revitalized with the energy to go play guitar or go to the football club. But if you don't jump on it at the first opportunity, then the football club might get replaced with, I want to go learn carpentry. And then you don't want to go to the football club. You wish you did though. And then you're learning carpentry because you want to. Or maybe not. Maybe you're in the same cycle and you don't want to get off your ass to go learn carpentry either. You want to learn it, but you don't want to get off your ass and go learn it. And then it will be replaced with something else, which is so important to taking risks. You have to jump at it as soon as it comes to you. Your purpose and your mission, your craving, whatever it is, you could get it at any day. Like it's food. What do I want for dinner? It's different every day, right? So your purpose, different. Not every day, but you know, like almost every few weeks it will change. So if you don't jump at it, you miss out. You miss out so much. So I recommend that every time you get a craving or idea or a purpose, you take a risk right there, right then. Not recklessly, I'm saying, but do a little research, see if it's possible, and then if it is, immediately take that risk. Immediately. As long as it's safe, as long as it's not reckless, take that risk. And if it's not safe or reckless, or yeah, if it's not safe and it's reckless at the moment, then instead of taking that risk, build towards a future where you can take that risk. Instead of starting a business right now that'll put you in massive debt if it goes wrong, instead of doing that, maybe up your income a little bit so that you have collateral that you can at least come back with, and you don't have to worry about being in crippling debt your whole life, right? Then you can take that business risk, and if it goes wrong, then you're safe and your family's safe. That's different. Keep that idea in the back of your mind, come back to it in the future, but build a future which will permit you to actually take that risk safely. So, as I said, think of one thing today: safe, not reckless, but doable. Think of one thing and do it. Take a risk. I want you to share below what your risk is today, actually. Share it below. Share how you're going to do it. Come back a little later if you want to and share what you've learned and what it has accomplished. Share. Just tell me the whole thing. I'll read it. I'll respond to it. We'll have a quick discussion if you want. Just let me know. Either way, I hope this video helped you a ton, my friend. I don't have anything else to say, so yeah, just rewatch it if you need to and apply what I've said. Take care, my friend.